The bridge of the Eclipse Sentinel was silent, save for the soft hum of engines and the faint pulse of tactical displays. Stars streaked by in the viewport, distant suns and nebulae casting pale light across consoles and crew faces. Every officer moved with purpose, trained instinctively to anticipate orders, but none had ever heard the voice of Admiral Cale Rin rise in command. Not once. Not ever. Yet when he entered the room, every eye straightened, every movement sharpened, every thought aligned with his presence. Cale's reputation was not built on fury or intimidation. It was built on results. Entire fleets had learned, often the hard way, that humans didn't need to shout. A single nod, a slight tilt of his head, a glance at tactical schematics, and the galaxy adjusted. Today was no different. The Garath coalition had encroached into the neutral sector of Lasara, a system rich in energy cores and vital for regional stability. The coalition's warships were vast and numerous, each armed with long-range disruptors and armor capable of shrugging off conventional fire. Most admirals would raise alarms, shout orders, and demand obedience. Cale merely stood at the command chair, reviewing holographic projections, his fingers tapping lightly against the surface. "Predicted vector?" he asked quietly, voice calm, almost conversational. Lieutenant Sarah, his tactical officer, looked up sharply. "Coalition ships are maneuvering around the asteroid belts. They intend to corral civilian transports into a kill zone. Probability of civilian casualties if we don't intervene, 87%. Cale nodded. "And if we engage here?" "Minimal risk to our fleet. Civilians remain protected." "Coalition suffers 63% system losses," Sarah replied. Cale's eyes flickered to the viewport, observing distant warships glinting under starlight. He leaned back, long dark hair falling over his shoulders, calm expression unwavering. "Then we proceed," he said softly. The word carried no anger, no emphasis, but it resonated. Every officer on the bridge felt the weight of it, the certainty that this course would succeed. Human fleets moved with clockwork precision. Fighters launched in arcs calculated to draw enemy fire, leaving openings for cruisers to strike weak points in the coalition's armor. Disruptor beams danced harmlessly across shields, deflected by human countermeasures that anticipated every trajectory. Cale's calm presence was mirrored in the movements of every ship, every pilot, every gunner, a symphony of precision that required no voice to conduct. The coalition, arrogant and overconfident, expected humans to falter, to shout, to overcompensate with brute force. They were wrong. One by one, their vessels found themselves corralled, disabled, or strategically outmaneuvered. No unnecessary lives were lost. Civilian transports glided safely through the corridors of battle, protected by invisible shields and human tactics honed over decades of interstellar conflict. In the midst of the engagement, Cale received a transmission from the Garath flagship. "Admiral Rin," the enemy commander's voice crackled, formal and panicked. "We demand ceasefire. Your forces are unparalleled." Cale's lips curved slightly. "Unparalleled in protecting those who cannot fight themselves," he replied. Calm, precise, unshakable. The transmission ended, leaving the coalition's command in silent disbelief. Minutes later, the battle concluded. The Garath coalition withdrew, leaving behind disabled ships but no unnecessary deaths. Humans had achieved victory without raising their voices, without chaos, without panic. Cale stepped onto the observation deck, watching stars and warships drift in the aftermath. His crew moved beside him, calm, methodical, inspired not by fear but by example. "Your approach, it's unnatural," Sarah said quietly, still processing the flawless execution. Cale's eyes remained on the void. "Fear is temporary. Orders shouted in anger last only until they are forgotten. Authority is sustained by clarity, precision, and unwavering purpose. Humans do not need to raise their voices. We do not need theatrics. We act, and the galaxy responds." Word of the engagement spread quickly. Allies marveled, adversaries reeled, and civilians whispered stories of the Admiral, whose calm had commanded entire fleets without a single raised voice. Across sectors, governments adjusted their diplomacy, knowing humans were not chaotic warriors, nor merciless conquerors. They were guardians, leaders, enforcers of order with the quiet power of unwavering resolve. Days later, Cale visited the repair docks, observing crews as they restored ships to operational status. His presence alone inspired efficiency. Officers worked faster, pilots calibrated systems with greater focus, engineers corrected errors before he even approached. He walked among them silently, occasionally nodding, occasionally giving a single quiet instruction. No one questioned him, no one hesitated, and yet every action was reinforced by his calm authority. An aide approached nervously. "Admiral, the coalition has sent a delegation. They request an audience to discuss terms." Kale's expression softened slightly. "Prepare the council chamber. Let them see what humanity values." In the chamber, alien delegates entered with apprehension, wary of confrontation. Kale did not rise, did not shout, did not brandish power. He seated himself, calm and measured, long hair framing a face that conveyed both authority and assurance. His officers flanked him, disciplined, precise, ready, but their presence was not threatening. "Your fleets are damaged," Kale said softly, voice steady. "Your people are alive. That was intentional. Humanity does not seek unnecessary death. We enforce peace, protect innocence, and uphold the balance. You may withdraw peacefully or face consequences, but make no mistake, we act decisively." The delegation faltered, realizing that his quiet was not weakness but strength. Agreements were signed, reparations arranged, and peace was secured without a single raised voice or act of aggression beyond measured enforcement. When Kale left the chamber, his crew walked beside him, silent but confident. His legacy was not in shouting commands or enforcing fear. It was in the quiet power that shaped outcomes, in the calm decisiveness that inspired action, and in the moral clarity that guided fleets without raising a voice. The galaxy had learned a new truth. Humans do not need to shout to lead, do not need to threaten to command, and do not need to act rashly to enforce order. Authority could exist in silence. Power could be measured in deeds, not decibels. Humanity could redefine leadership, and Admiral Kale Rin was the embodiment of it. In every sector, from distant colonies to central hubs, stories spread. The Admiral who never raised his voice. His ships moved, his fleets acted, and his will was obeyed, not because of fear, not because of theatrics, but because humans demonstrated that calm, precision, and unwavering principle could achieve what others thought impossible. And so, in the quiet hum of the eclipsed sentinel, under the endless canvas of stars, Kale stood as proof that when humanity leads, it does not need to shout. The galaxy listens, responds, and acts, because humans lead not with volume, but with certainty, clarity, and purpose.